going on? Uh, Got to figure out something to do about an opening, but anyway, we're here. My name is Kev, and this is BMBBH, of course. And Look, if it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you to all of my new and existing subscribers. You guys are great. Be mindful of the message scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So that doesn't need any explanation. I'm sure everyone who watches can read. So, got Phil Brad. What's going on? Got D Scott. What it is? RPM. Long live. Lewis Conyer. Long live. Yeah. Good to see you guys again. I don't know. I don't know if I put a lot of thought into this, but stick with me, and I promise you guys it'll be interesting. But the topic for tonight is, of course, everything that we see here on social media is not an argument, and that we are all adults. Once you cross over into a certain age, you should be able to deal with and handle things like a adult. Just like an R-rated movie. If you're over 17, you're supposed to be able to handle one of those. What we're basically talking about is life here. And meanwhile, you can't be the type person that offers fake protection to a person who is already engaged in a debate. But more on that, as the broadcast goes along. So, how's everyone doing tonight? Ace, you guys seem to be well and gotten through another week. Yeah, man. Really would like to come to YouTube to talk about what's right with people and um, everything that is positive about our great community. If only the majority of our people, when I say our, I say melanated, um, the majority of our people don't feel that way. Let's just be honest. I don't see it happening I don't see it happening anytime soon. If you have positive aspirations, I don't mean to burst your bubble. And it's not that I don't have some ray of hope that things might not be like that. It's just, to me, is if there is no hope left, then why are any of us sitting up here talking shit? What we fooling ourselves on a sinking vessel? Oh, we're all fucked. Might as well have a good time doing it. Shoot. So just want to make sure that we were clear on that. But let's talk about that word debate that I just mentioned. Um, in fact, let's look it up. Okay. And the reason for me, I just basically like to talk to these people who believe that everything's an argument and there's no purpose in trying to mend the fences between us. And I mean, it's all good. It's all good with me. But let's look at the word debate. A formal discussion on a particular topic in a public meeting or legislative assembly, which this isn't a legislative assembly, in which opposing arguments are pulled forward. Last night's debate on the education bill. or they, as a verb, argue about a subject, especially in a formal manner. The board debated his proposal. Similar terms is discuss, confer about, talk over, talk through, talk about. In noun form is a discussion, exchange of views, discourse, parlay, argument. Argument is usually the buzz term that we're going to use tonight because it, for me at least, I can't say this for everyone else. Of course, it wouldn't be fair to speak on you guys. You have your own thoughts and you have your own feelings and excuse me, you have your own points of view. Yeah, but for me, at least, I think words, when it comes to platforms such as these, they make everyone equal, which means that unless you don't have a thick skin, then it can't possibly hurt you, whether it's male or female. Now, I'm not trying to bring reason to having females, come to the space because I know it is discussed in a way as to if one sets their foot through the door, it's over with. And is I am always an advocate for fortify the space, protect your space a little bit more. But when someone is here that you know gains some momentum and puts put tries to plant their feet, if you're a man in a man space, why can't you plant your feet a little bit harder? What's wrong with that? This whole word we throw around here, shaming. You're shamed into believing that the what I have up on the screen is the one thing you can't do. And this as far as these panels go, this space is full of debates and about just about anything. So I've seen guys who seemingly are at each other's throats one moment, but then they're talking civil the next moment, which is cool. I've seen and this is supposedly a rare one. I've seen women and men have a discussion, and it ends up in a civil manner. you know, they weren't like, oh, shots fired, gender war, battle of the sexes is happening. No, it wasn't like that. I've seen some people pull off some idiotic things, but I also seen some very good and uh, bearable presentations on this app as well. So understand this: the black I'm talking about is mostly the people who watch this. I'm not saying that other races aren't welcome. I'm just saying that I do say many of these things with blacks in mind, and I don't expect any of your words, if you are on the outside of this race, to have any impact on what we do here. And the basic problem is, uh, as far as the black part of America, we're gonna go ahead and say that since y'all can't stand that word community, we don't have that figured out. And if anybody is qualified to talk about these things, is us. So point made right there. Um, Let me just throw this out here. I don't want to argue with women. Okay, so for those of you out here that are saying stuff like, all y'all want to do is argue with women. I'm going to speak for myself on this too. I don't want to do it. A debate is a tamer term, I would say, and I do believe that anybody can debate, but it's certain things that like most don't understand aren't even worth debating for real. Like I wouldn't debate someone who cannot be convinced, obviously. You know, whatever whoever falls in that archetype. If I can't deal with you, it's not like I'm doing a concession. It's just that I'm choosing not to carry it on. I'm just gonna chill, especially when I come to this app. My belief is one of the last states that they should see any of us in is a state of anger. Now, there's differences between passion and anger. We can clearly see what anger is. You know, I'm under the belief that if you have the wherewithal to sit through all of these streams, then you're smart enough to understand what the fuck everybody around here is talking about. So, shoot, I try to give people the credit for intelligence. That way, if someone does something or says something dumb, then we're all very well in position to do what's need to be done in order to nullify that situation. And going back to what I was saying about the women, if you are a man that is in this space, then it should be automatic. You shouldn't be bowing down to any foothold a woman plants in this space. If she gets more attention, she gets more attention because, okay, contrary to popular belief, sarcasm, men like being around women. You can call them whatever you want. You can call them simps. You can call them old niggas like y'all like to call them. It is what it is. You know, we're with this constant, and I'm not saying that women should be in this space. What I'm saying is, um, if there's going to be a squad to get rid of them, I'm not going to participate because that's a little weird. And if this is a man space, you need to grow some nuts and stand on it. Period. This is a man space. Period. They anybody a black man space. Let's correct that. Anyone coming into this space should understand that. Of course, a lot of you don't, and I get that because it's like a lot of these spats be needless, a waste of airtime given to you by a source that you don't even own, which is YouTube. That I don't own. All I'm saying is, you know what? Let's just make the best of it. But some people sit there and call that hope. Well, like I'm saying, if there's no hope, why are you doing anything? A person with no hope is, I'm not going to even say a homeless person because a homeless person at least has a cup out and is able to ask somebody for something. You're below homeless. You're below that status. I don't know. It just think about it. I mean, whether it makes sense to you, whether it doesn't make sense to you, I bet between the both of us is, you know, I'm always going to understand that there are billions of different personalities on this planet. Do you? So, yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, if manhood is something that uh, you guys know all about and you're proud of, and you should have no problem with these kinds of things. See, I'm getting older. I can't carry as much as I used to. I mean, whereas I could carry 2 couches at one time. I can only carry 1 now. Just, something like that. Not saying I ever carried 2 couches, but yeah, that shit got heavy at times. But I'm getting older, you know. And technically we all are. Yeah. Just just it's all in what your presentation is, what you want to present as far as what mark that you want to leave, whether as you are just someone who uh, watches in the cloud to the persons hopefully intelligent that are participating in your chat, making things as interesting as well, almost not quite. I'm not gonna ever be like, oh, you guys more interesting than me. Shoot, although you guys are interesting, but you know I just didn't. I guess because I have a one in these billions of personalities that exist in this world that just it was ever like afraid for outsiders to be around as long as they understood what the conditions were. So debate things that are up for debate. Everything isn't a debate. I'll say that as well for those of you out there that don't believe that this space is about healthy debates and discussions, which I believe it is. It's just that you whoever believes stuff like that is just bored with those discussions and look for the fuckery. I mean, we choose to take in who we want to take in, and that includes me as well. I'm not free from something like this. But anyway, just saying, man. If you're smart enough, you can get through one of these with anybody. People will rather see it as an argument because someone says something and then the say person A says something, person B disagrees. Person A could make the choice to, you know, try to analyze why person B disagrees, or start or go on a rampage calling them a bitch and why you disagree with me and all this other stuff. The bad reaction is usually the one that happens as far as what I see on social media in dealing with us. I see some smart people. I have to mention that, but some of us we just take a real downward dark path. It just like it just make you say, huh? We actually have people that think this way. We're doomed. We're doomed if that's the vast majority. So we have people that go like, with the gloom and doom scenario because uh I'm not going to lie to you. You have people that play this role of the brave person, and they're not afraid to go down the path of doom and gloom, and they'll alpha their way through it and survive. Or you can just chill the fuck out and weather the storm. Oh God, that hope thing. I swear. So I'm here to tell you. Let me paint this scenario. All right, say that I'm on the panel with a female of the melanated persuasion. She says something. I disagree with her. Okay, that's in the scenario. Okay, am I arguing with her? Maybe I should give a little bit more detail. I'm being nice. I disagree with her. Okay, I'm not even talking about her reaction after I disagree with her. I disagree with her in a cordial way, not disrespectful. So, do you believe that the majority of people would believe that I am arguing with this female of age of the melanated persuasion just because I disagree? Maybe she said something wrong. There's nothing wrong with calling out wrong info being put out there. But I am one of those people that do understand and realize that sometimes things aren't worth it. Sometimes some people aren't worth it. You can't reach some people. I don't think that I've been publicly exposed to many people who are like that. That's why I don't believe that uh, you know, you guys ever could envision me having to deal with a son of a bitch. I mean, that is that one guy that calls in and is like, put some bass in his voice and curses me out and tells me I'm the worst guy ever. But that's nothing that I ever took seriously. I want y'all to understand that. But I haven't run into a numbnut. I barely run into numb nuts. I guess it's the energy that I give off or whatever. But it is I would say that that makes me a very fortunate content creator up until now. But I'm always here to make sure that the stances of my not only myself, as a habitual line stepper and the stances of the people who frequent this chat are made very, very clear, you know. And my stance is this: if you say anything over here on this platform, on someone else's platform called YouTube, if you say anything and it makes somebody in the chat or even myself be like, that's not, then it's going to be answered. And that's just what it is. I don't want people coming to this channel feeling like they can't express themselves, or we got to be under this Unimind. I hate that Unimind crap. It's so boring. Having someone agree with you, just I don't know, two or three people, great, but like I don't know, just people just trying to be cool with each other on some fuck shit. That drives me insane. I think they call that the echo chamber. Which I'm not perfect myself, but I'm just saying. just want to get that understanding out the way that everything ain't arguing. Everything ain't like, oh my God, the the debate is on. I will say this: generally, presenting empirical data is nice. It's very informative, and you may reach one or two people, which is great and gives it purpose. But presenting empirical data to the standoffish mofo is probably not the best thing. This behavior is usually associated with females, but um, there's certain archetypes of males as well that even if you presented like 10 tons of evidence, if they don't want to believe it, they don't want to believe it. And the one thing I wouldn't do is constantly go back and forth with a person like that. There's really nothing to prove. If I go back and forth with a person, it's probably because either one or two ways. It's either worth it or I'm just playing with them. Is really is next to useless. You know, people like that kind of get on my nerves, but I kind of get on my nerves too. So I try to be understanding in that way of what other people think, even though a lot of these thought processes is not perfect. A debate, a formal discussion on a particular topic in a public meeting or legislative assembly in which opposing arguments are put forward. Argue about a subject, especially in a formal manner. I don't know. It just the right thing to do is to basically, if you're not winning, to just, and your if your information is bullshit and inaccurate, is maybe after 5 or 10 minutes, if that's what you do, or it. My suggestion is always search for the right answer first. Search for the right answer first, but I don't know. I'll just say that, if you are presenting good information, then give yourself a pat on the back, and don't don't lower to the level of a stupid motherfucker. Period. Now, I'll tell you this much. I wouldn't debate with somebody like half my age. I wouldn't do that. Or close to half my age. Cause it ain't like, what it ain't like I don't know that I'm being set up to be called an old nigga. But I mean, I don't care. It's just like when it comes down to it, it comes down to a principle of sorts. Not saying that that person half my age isn't good enough. I ain't saying they're not. I'm not being belittling or condescending. It's just that I know that in a position like that, that makes me look worse. So, it's nothing wrong with choosing to do the smart thing. I'm not saying bow out. Just give the right answer and be like, okay, whatever, nigga, out of that. Can't be stressing, man. We can't us Gen Xers, we can't be stressing. It'll shorten our lives. Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna argue with people. I'm just not gonna do it. I mean, people are gonna say stuff, and I might decide to say a couple things, but it ain't gonna be like you walking up on somebody's house and the dog is behind the fence just barking his ass off. That ain't gonna be none of me. Mm-mm. Dudes be yelling and shit. That shit be funny as fuck though to me. Dudes be yelling at each other, knowing they ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Ain't nobody gonna bust a grape. Now, the title is "Everything Ain't an Argument." I'm not saying that some things can't be an argument, because some things are arguments. My stance on arguments is this: it's like, look, you have every right to stand up for yourself, but don't get dragged down. That's all. Don't get dragged down into some kind of horrible cussing fit, because really is like, unless you just doing some masterful comedic, just roasting, like Cat Williams level or some shit like that, and it just, you start to look funny. You start to look kind of just goofy, and it also depends on what the other person says as well. Let's not uh you know not talk about the person that creates the situation in the first place. Possibly. Mm, stop this. Mm. So we got yeah. So we got Anthony Drosos here. Said Dane won. Oh shit, I'm sorry about that, man. So you got an injury. Wow. Yakuza series generation official. They banned me because I have a dating preference and they think it's wrong for me to love white women. And they are against that interracial relationship because they want to play the race card, telling me I'm a sellout Uncle Tom because somebody say somebody like a white female or like an outside my race. If you're not dating your own race, they will cancel you. Uh, uh, what I can say is what I can say Yakuza series generation official is that you won't be treated that way here. I'll say that. I can't speak for others, but it goes on to say, I am sick of this cancel culture. I wish that it never exist. Try to troll you like politics, telling you to bend the knee for now. You can't love to follow your heart. That's how fucked up it is. Yeah, I get that, but you can always make the choice to not deal with any of that. We can always. Feel Brad, I'm a master debater. All righty. All righty. Yeah, but good to see good to see, everyone here. Um just wanted to talk to y'all for a little bit about this whole concept of, arguing and, debating and, the adult part is like if we did at least hold everyone accountable as adults, I think that I believe that a lot of these conversations would probably be 5 to 6 times easier to deal with. you know, is just what it is. See something real quick. Just one moment. You know, and I make sure you hit the like button if you are in here. Dane Juan said, "I'm 42. I'm too grown to be arguing." Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with defending a stance, or position if it's the right thing to do. If it's the right thing you do, you just, choose your battles. Mm, mm. So, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Well, y'all telling me what y'all think. Mm. Yeah, man, it's rough out here in these social media streets. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's because I have one of these mentalities, but it just is like I said, it's good to come up here. Um, Phil Brad says, "Would you rather be right or be happy?" Wow, that's quite the conundrum right there because I believe at the end of the day, that everyone's goal is happiness, but right is right. I think being right leads to happiness. Or like it's like, when you say words like right, you have to be right with yourself, and right with the people that you impact or affect. So um I think that if I'm right, especially with myself, then I'll be happy. Yeah, but I would love to be happy, but uh reality does not reality does not favor that. I'll say that. And I mean, like, you can always search for your own happiness. It doesn't matter, what anyone else's situation is. Uh, but there is some things that that do need attention, and we need to just I don't know, pay attention to them. Shoot, they want to say social media is of the devil. Yeah, is if you have a social media account, uh, you've given the beast your personality profile. People argue with you off of how they feel. That's the base and that's another thing. That's the basis of 95% of these discussions is the fact that this is how I feel. Um, the thing is to back it up with something that actually makes sense. Yeah, arguing. Say arguing was what do they say? What do they say this space does? Just argue with women. Here's what I say about that. If it's an adult, male or female, respect the conversation. If you choose not to deal with it, then don't deal with it. If you choose to deal with it, deal with it. But it's your fault whatever happens. But for the most part, make sure that you are doing everything that you can to not look like a fool if you're dealing with a person that's in their Philly feels, because things could go very much and very well south. People will argue with you about how they feel. Feels before reals. Feels before reals. Why is that anyway? That's why a lot of people say, that's why you have to say stuff like everything ain't an argument because of that kind of shit. It ain't like I say, it ain't like I wanna disagree with people just to disagree, or I think for the most part people come up here and have these discussions, but if a person is getting something wrong and you want to debate or argue, by definition it is arguing, that the person on the other side doesn't know what they're talking about, and here's the actual info, is only going to get as far as the person. That's what I'm saying. If they're willing to take it in, research the information that you're giving them, and if they find it to be correct, then yay, mission accomplished. But at the end of the day, it should never turn into a beef. Dang one, you said some real shit right there. Arguing on Facebook is like contending in the Special Olympics. I came into debating in spaces like Facebook, but I really stopped doing it because it's like, there's Like it's dealing. It is okay. After a while, if you understand what the situation is and you're still doing it, then it becomes your fault. That that that's one of the that's what I have to say about this. If you choose to stick around, it's your fault. Shoot, a wise person once told me that I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that there are just some stupid people out here, and it's okay to call some people stupid because that's what they are. They're stupid. It's hard for them to accept, and I get that. You just call me stupid. Yeah, kinda. I mean, I expect a bad reaction for something like that. But if it's the truth, it's the truth. Some people just aren't built for conversations. They just aren't built to, adult. RPM said FB is a joke. If you speak honestly, then there's always someone that comes to judge you for judging anything. Yeah, they have this crimson cloud of acceptance. Well, crimson is a poor choice of word. Someone carrying the name of crimson, so don't. That's not connected. And Facebook is blue, so there's this blue cloud of whatever. Just I missed it, but yeah, is it's if you go against the grain and say something is not good, for instance, and I really was trying to save this one for another time, but since it's a hot topic, if you are a fan of, Marvel comics and what they've been putting out as far as live action entertainment, some of you have tuned in to that She-Hulk. Wow. And it's like, okay, look, here's what I think of it. Some things you just gotta let roll off of you. I'll just say that. Although they may not be talking about you personally when it comes to talking about men as a group, but is what is happening is that you're using societal insecurities instead of coming up with creative and imaginative stories. So that's what I think of that. It's quite lazy to try to use some kind of social justice activism on someone who wasn't built to popularity around that kind of thing. But yeah. But see, here's the thing. That kind of thing comes from the fact that these very same men that they can't try to convince you are problematic weren't paying enough attention, never really said anything. So this is new to them. It's like a new toy, just being able to come to a place and say how you feel. Yeah. Now, I'm just gonna say this about that. Um, you know, I'm a bit of I would say a nerd, not in the sense of I'm building spaceships or anything, but no, I was a comic book reader, and I read. I'm not gonna say that I got every issue, but I read some of these stories, and let me tell you, I read a bunch of Hulk stories. Incredible Hulk is my favorite comic book character. And what the MCU has done to him and a fun character, although it's just it was a is a female version of a male character, and that's how it's always been. It's just to see the characters being done like that, just oh my god, and it's that's just what it is. If you've been a fan of something and you've seen it being torn apart and misrepresented, it just makes it look dumb. Sir Anthony, what's going on? RPM said that new run Banner of War is dope. Hulk gets Thor's hammer and Thor gets Hulk's powers. Mm, okay, what they doing something good at Marvel? I don't know. I don't mess with comic books anymore. Yes, is a lot of the stories just they went from badass epic runs to uh motherfucking lectures on I should feel bad for accepting how I was born. Yeah. So yeah. So just wanted to put this bug in y'all ear about is let's start conditioning ourselves to start thinking in a more sane manner and just chill the fuck out sometimes. Yeah, Sir Anthony said it's a shame what they're doing to comic book heroes. Yeah, yeah, it is, but it's all good things must come to an end. It just this one was very 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 controllable. I would say it was very controllable. It had so much source material to pull from, like some like comic book heroes, especially the ones that been around since the 1930s and 40s, like Superman and Batman. And then people are just butchering up the stories because they want to make the characters gay and bi, and if that's your thing, that's your thing, whatever. But it just I rather see epic struggles. It's a comic book. That's what it is. It's a comic book. So I mean, maybe they'll get it right, but it's here's the thing. There's always independent comic books, and there's manga as well. I tell a lot of these people that's why manga is winning. Manga is the stuff that comes from Japan. Like that Dragon Ball stuff. Yeah. So anyway, just here to inform you guys is that is if y'all truly want to chill out on like gender stuff, then maybe y'all should chill the fuck out on, each other, you know, or at least use some cordiality when you have to sit in a place like a panel on someone's channel and have to listen to this person talk. And like I said, inside, I know it's difficult, but I've had to sit through some shit with some people, some people that I thought that were just less than intelligent, but I had to understand that, even though this person's presentation was dumb as fuck, what is my presentation gonna be? So anyway, yeah, it was great talking to you guys on Saturday night. Uh, Tomorrow night, hopefully, I can get that movie watch, or I'll probably just switch topics. To tomorrow night, I might do the whole the whole thing about the men who, the rise of the lonely single man, which, I think is fucking hilarious, but you know, and also um, talk about Idris Elba. He didn't you know, look I wouldn't say he didn't look out for his daughter. He just felt like that, you know, his daughter wasn't right for the part that she was auditioning for. And it was for that movie Beast. And I believe that there is an important lesson in that. So I hope y'all are there for both nights, whichever one I decide to do over the other one, you know. But you guys are great as always. And see y'all next time. Kev, we trust. Um, when I say I'm gonna win, I do understand and realize that there's still a something going on in order for me to have to conquer and win it. So is the inevitability of that is what I'm speaking of. So I'm gonna win, and when I do, we all do. Trust me, it's gonna be fun, and just thanks for showing me. Oh yeah, Sir Anthony, thank you for the Cash App. I saw that, so I really appreciate the support, and shout out to Greg as well. Greg would probably catch the replay or something like that. So um, anyway, take care, guys. Be safe out there, and stay focused.